Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to this video. So this is a very important update because we have Tropical Storm Debby there. So it was designated yesterday, I think, as a tropical storm. It's already affecting Florida with some winds, storm surge and some rain bands there. So in this video, we'll talk about Debby, a good portion of the video about Florida and the southeast, and then later in the video we'll talk about the severe weather and heat in some other parts of the country, and then in the end we'll talk about Canada. So if you're watching from Canada or any other part of the US, feel free to skip to your section of the video. So let's start here. So first we have Tropical Storm Debby there. So let's see. We also have this new area there in the Atlantic now. So we will talk about that in a second. So let's see here what we have. First, let's take a look at the track first. So we already have hurricane warnings for Florida there, and some hurricane watches too around it, tropical storm warnings in the whole west coast, most of the Keys, even some tropical storm watches in other parts of the Keys, and already some tropical storm watches in Georgia and South Carolina there. So this is expected to be a hurricane by Monday morning, something like that, and make landfall like early on Monday. So let's see what else. So wind speed. So this is tropical storm force wind speed probability is already at more than 90% there in the coast of Florida. Alright, some in Georgia, a very high percentage in other parts of western northern Florida, the Carolinas. So be careful. Let's see, the hurricane wind speed probabilities has risen already. So in the coast we still have like 10 to 30% chance of hurricane force winds there, but this will increase as we get closer. And this is the 50 knot wind speed probabilities are already high around there too, on the coast around 50 to 60%. Let's see what else. The arrival time, this is an estimated arrival time of the winds. It shows about Sunday at 2 p.m. So Sunday at 8 a.m. already some winds in the west coast of Florida, and Sunday 2 p.m. about in the northern portions of Florida there, and Monday there. But the winds are set to arrive on Sunday there. Let's see, and the track shows this will make landfall only on Monday there. So this will only make landfall on Monday, but the winds might arrive first. So let's see some key messages first. So heavy rainfall will result in considerable flash and urban flooding across portions of northern Florida through Friday morning. Potential historic rainfall across Georgia and South Carolina through Friday morning will result in areas of severe widespread flash and urban flooding. Significant river flooding is also expected, so please be careful. That's the main hazard. Hurricane conditions are expected on Monday along portions of Florida Big Bend region where hurricane watches warnings in effect, with tropical storm conditions beginning this evening. Tropical storm conditions are expected through Monday, further south within the tropical storm warning along Florida's west coast, including Tampa Bay and lower Florida Keys. There's a danger of life-threatening storm surge and inundation across portions of the Gulf Coast of Florida. From Archipelago to Indian Pass, life-threatening storm surge is also possible on Archipelago to Bonita Beach, including Tampa Bay and Charlotte Harbor. Impacts from storm surge, strong winds are possible elsewhere in Florida along the southeast coast of the United States, from Georgia to North Carolina through the middle of the week. Interest in those areas should continue to monitor the progress of the system. Additional warnings and watches might be important later today. So let's see the rainfall potentials. So take a look at this. in Georgia and South Carolina, they already have more, between 20 and 30 inches of rain in Georgia, and especially southern South Carolina there. So this is so concerning. It might cause some historic flooding in those areas. And around that pink, we have a dark red area for potentially 16 to 20 inches through South Carolina, Georgia, and the red area into Florida too, potentially 12 to 16 inches through Florida, southern Georgia, most of eastern Georgia and South Carolina, some 12 to 16 inches, and the orange areas, some 8 to 12 inches through much of northern Florida, eastern Georgia, half of South Carolina, and southern North Carolina, around 8 to 12 inches expected. And the 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 dark yellow 6 to 8 inches in other areas, and the yellow 4 to 6 inches. And then more rain through southern Florida, the Bahamas, and some more areas. But that there could cause some life-threatening flooding there. So please make some preparations already, and be careful there. Warn others. If you know others in those areas, please warn them. And also there in Florida, of course, some 12 to 16 inches possible. So let's see. Now the storm surge is another factor. It has risen to 6 to 10 feet there in the Big Bend and parts of northwestern Florida. Some 1 to 3 feet in parts of Dry Tortugas in southwestern Florida, central western Florida, about 2 to 4 feet. For further north, 2 to 4 to 7 feet, and 6 to 10 feet in the red there. So please, this might cause many problems, the storm surge, and 3 to 5 feet and 4 to 7 feet further up there. And already for Georgia and South Carolina, some 2 to 4 feet of storm surge there. So this is really dangerous. Please, let's see here. This is the storm surge watch for parts of central Florida there, and the storm surge warning already in the Big Bend and those areas. Please be careful on a storm surge watch already in North South Carolina and Georgia. So let's see. And we have the key messages in Spanish in case you don't understand English. I really recommend you should read this if you don't understand English. This is important. It's here on the site, or you can pause the video now and take a look. And let's see here. What else? So let's see closer in some potential storm surge. So through Tampa, St. Petersburg, that's blue, and some yellows, potential greater than 1 foot. That's blue in parts of the Tampa Bay, and greater than 3 feet in those yellow areas there. Let's see. Through the coast there, still some 1 to 3 feet of storm surge. And as we get further north into the Big Bend, we start getting some oranges, greater than 6 feet in those oranges possible in those areas there, and some reds already, especially in these areas of the Big Bend, so greater than 9 feet, above the ground possible in some of those areas there. So greater than 6 feet in the orange, 3 feet in the yellow, and one foot in the blue. So please be careful. That storm surge might be really threatening, greater than 9 feet in some of those areas. Some other areas there shows greater than 9 feet, 6 feet possible in some of those islands there. Let's see. Cedar Key, wait, let's see. Still some 6 to 9 feet there. Some areas, and where's this? So here we have some other areas there. Still some 3 to 6 feet possible in the yellow, the orange, and even those reds there. Those reds might be like small islands or stuff, but anyways, be careful. Some greater than 9 feet possible in those reds, and for further north it's still fine. Let's see. For South Carolina and Georgia, still some areas of 1 foot above the ground, so nothing big for them as of now, but this might change later. So let's see the severe weather for for those areas because of the system. So let's see. So there's a slight risk there in Florida and southern Georgia, and a marginal risk there. So main thing is tornado potential because of the outer rain bands from this distance might bring some supercells there, some tornado potential. So please be careful in those areas. Have some ways to receive warnings in case of a tornado, and be aware in those areas. Wind threat is just 5%, and hail nothing there. So, but please be careful with the tornado potential. For tomorrow, there's still a slight risk there. Let's see, main thing, tornado potential in Georgia and Florida tomorrow too, as this makes landfall. Wind, they don't have anything, nor hail. So let's see for after tomorrow. There's still a marginal there, but this might change later, and we'll keep monitoring it. So because of that 5% tornado and everything, we might have some tornado watches for Florida later today and tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Some intensity guidance have this. Most have as a tropical storm, but some models go to category 1 there. But the National Hurricane Center forecast this to become a hurricane there. So here are some model track guidance. Most go there to Florida and curve northeast, but some models still try to curve back into Alabama and even the Gulf there. So some models are still doing that, but the general consensus as it goes out there. Let's see, some Canadian ensembles goes there towards the northeast, but some still do some crazy stuff and go towards Alabama, Mississippi, but most go towards the northeast. And some GFS ensembles go there for Florida to Georgia, South Carolina, but still some ensembles showing it going back into the Gulf, into Mississippi and Louisiana. So we gotta monitor that, but it's only a few members showing that, so probably not anything crazy. That's so let's see. There's Debby, and you can see all those storms in Florida associated with it. So today is Sunday, August 4th. This is the her. And then the storms can keep going there, so it shows lots of storms traversing Florida there. So those storms might have tornado potential there. So please be careful. Tomorrow, later today into tomorrow, they go into Georgia as well, especially this is 0Z Monday, so this is like this evening tonight in southern Georgia, but please be careful in Florida with those cells. Then it keeps going. The her has it making landfall there as a 988, like category 1 or tropical storm, and after this makes landfall by Monday tomorrow, still some rain bands brings some tornado potential in Central Florida, South Carolina and Georgia still. So be careful there. Let's see some hurricane models. This is the HWARF. It has Debby there. It keeps going, and then it takes this as a 981 at landfall, like category 1, 981. So then it goes there through Georgia, spins there, South Carolina, but it's mainly just spinning there. And the her even tries, no, this is the HWARF. The HWARF even tries to take it back towards Alabama and those areas. But let's see another model. So it's Debby there, and then this has a make landfall as a 981 2, like 983 category 1, goes into Georgia, South Carolina there, North Carolina, and then yeah, let's see. Yes, and then further out. Let's see now the HEFS A. It has, let's see, it has Debby there now, still strengthening as a tropical storm, and forecast to make landfall as a 986, potential like category 1 or strong tropical storm, but most likely category 1. And then the storms associated with it might have some tornadoes, let's see, and then it keeps going towards South Carolina and those other areas. So let's see, the Hefs B has it going there, make landfall as a 9, AE1, category 1, and then it goes through Georgia, South Carolina, and those areas. But it tries to do some weird stuff, but then it goes there. So yeah, be safe. Let's see, this is the European model. It makes landfall as a 997, so the European just has a tropical storm, goes through Georgia, South Carolina there, keeps going through North Carolina, passes through Virginia and near the northeast. And let's see, this is the GFS. It keeps going, makes landfall as a 980 hurricane there, goes through Georgia, South Carolina, but then it keeps spinning there and tries to go back towards Alabama. The GFS is going back into the Gulf, lingering through Florida, then eventually going towards the Carolinas. So yeah, let's see. So first let's see some other tropical stuff. So there's this other area that they put here. It's a 20% chance there. A tropical wave located a few hundred miles east of the Windward Islands, producing an area of showers and thunderstorms. Some slow development of this system is possible over next week, as the system moves quickly westward around 20 miles per hour, crossing the Windward Islands early this week and moving into the central and western Caribbean by mid to latter part of this week. So 20% chance of that development there. Let's see. Some models were trying to form this. So there's the tropical wave, and then the GFS doesn't form but tries to form something as it gets to the Gulf of Mexico later. Let's see. The European has some tropical waves there, and then this one crosses and it tries to get going in the Western Caribbean, but interacts with land there and doesn't do much. But it maybe goes into the Gulf and tries to do something in the Gulf there by around August 12th there. So we gotta keep watching the Gulf and some other tropical waves later in the Caribbean, bringing more rain. So let's see now the rest of the stuff here for Debby. So first, some precipitation just for today. So this is day 1, I think. It has like some 7 inches there in some areas, in those yellows and greens there in Florida. So please be careful. And then tomorrow, still there in Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, some 5 to 10 inches. Day 3, more for South Carolina there. Day 4, still in Georgia, South Carolina some. Day 5, still shows more in South Carolina. Day 6 goes to North Carolina and Virginia, more there, in the northeast as well. Day 7, more on the mid-Atlantic there. So days 1 through 7, take a look at this. I think this is the first time I have seen this year. They have more than 20 inches in total for the next 7 days. Of course, this isn't going to fall over 1 or 2 days. This will be like the rainfall of over 5 days for all the days that Debby is there. So, but even though the rainfall will be distributed between 4 or 5 days, that there might still be more than 5 inches or even 10 inches each day. So some life-threatening flooding is going to happen in those areas, especially southeastern South Carolina and Georgia there, close to 20 inches there. So that's some incredible rainfall amounts. And the excessive rainfall outlook is a moderate today around in parts of western Florida, the Big Bend, does light for Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina today because of the storms already coming, and a marginal there around it. For tomorrow, another moderate through Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, and it might be really dangerous tomorrow through Georgia, Florida. Please be careful, don't drive through floods, and stay safe. a slight around that moderate, in the marginal there, even to parts of Alabama, North Carolina, and Florida, a marginal. So day 3, they have now a high risk for day 3, so a high risk of excessive rainfall. So at least 70% chance of exceeding flash flood guidance in South Carolina and parts of Georgia there. So that's extremely dangerous. So this is for Tuesday the 6th. So let's see, a high in parts of coastal South Carolina, parts of Georgia, and a moderate from Georgia to North Carolina, and a slight there from Florida to North Carolina. So please warn other people in those areas. This is really life-threatening. Please be careful there. On both days, today day 1 in Florida and Georgia, tomorrow there for Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina, and on Tuesday there in South Carolina, especially in Georgia. Then later, by Wednesday, there's still a moderate in South Carolina there in Georgia. So this is by day 4, next Wednesday, a marginal all the way up to New Jersey, and a slight from Florida to North Carolina. So still a moderate on day 4. Day 5, there's still a moderate on day 5 for next Thursday, the 8th. So really dangerous, and with all these days of rain, the ground will get really saturated there, exacerbating the flooding. So please be careful. And a marginal from Florida to Connecticut, and the moderate in Georgia, South Carolina, and the slight from Georgia to Virginia. So this is for day 5. Please take this very seriously. Let's see, they have some messages talking about it here, and let's see now if I can show you another thing. Where's Debby? Here. So let's see if there's some products here. And and if you click on local products there, if you go on the site here, you can see all the different National Weather Service offices in each city, and you can click on threats and impacts of each city. So for Tampa, if you click here, it shows all you can expect there in those areas. So let's see, it shows some graphics, and if you click, for example, for Jacksonville, Florida, it shows some graphics and the threats there. And let's see, there's the storm surge threat, the flooding rain threat there, extreme flooding rain. Let's see the tornado threat in Florida there, and let's see, you can get, let's see if you, there's the warnings here, some information. Let's see what else. And they have like active storms, some local products. They say here most of all the impacts you can expect. So there's a lot of good information here. So please stay safe from Debby, the flooding and everything. And let's see, just something else. So they have this making landfall there as a like as a 140 kilometers per hour hurricane. So let's see if I can put this in miles per hour here. So let's see, as a 85 mile per hour hurricane. So if those are the sustained winds, the wind gusts might be close to 100 miles per hour in some areas, but like 85 sustained winds, might be some 90 mile per hour wind gusts possible there, or even a little bit less or a little bit more. So be careful there, please. Now, good, let's see the severe weather and stuff for other parts of the country and Canada, and stay safe there. So today, day 1, there's also a marginal there in Montana, parts of northern Wyoming, North and South Dakota, another marginal through Iowa, Wisconsin, and South Dakota, and a marginal in the northeast. So tornado threat just in Florida, wind threat 5% in all those areas, and hail threat 2, some 5% hail in those areas there. So let's see. They talked about Debby here, but be aware to those other storms too. Let's see for tomorrow. There's already 3 slight risks, the warning for Debby, and tomorrow from Minnesota to Illinois, Wisconsin, and Iowa, and another slight from Ohio to Maine there, and the marginal from Minnesota to Maine. So tornado threat just in Florida. Wind threat is basically what those areas are, and hail, the same thing for hail. So be careful tomorrow. Let's see. A few severe thunderstorms are possible Monday into Monday night in parts of the northeast, upper Midwest, and northern Florida into southern Georgia. So be aware for tomorrow, for Monday. For Tuesday, there's the marginal there in Georgia and South Carolina, and then the marginal from Illinois to Rhode Island, and another marginal in Montana and Wyoming and South Dakota. So probabilistic 5%. Let's see some general risk of thunderstorms too in other areas, and strong storms pose at least some risk of severe weather may impact coastal Georgia, South Carolina, a corridor across the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, parts of the Northern Rockies, and the adjacent Great Plains, Tuesday into Tuesday evening. So be aware for Tuesday. Let's see here. Day 4 through 8, there's nothing, and the fire threat is, let's see, is an isolated dry thunderstorms possible on the west today, parts of Idaho, in Oregon, Nevada, and Utah, and an elevated there fire threat in parts of Wyoming, Nebraska, and South Dakota. And tomorrow is also some isolated dry thunderstorms possible from Utah to Montana, Washington, parts of Oregon, northern Nevada and Idaho, and Wyoming. So be aware too. Let's see here the precipitation for the other areas there. Some more for the northern plains in Canada and the Rockies, parts of the northeast today. Tomorrow, more with the severe storms in parts of Wisconsin and Minnesota, some more in the southwest in Canada, more in the northeast. Day 3, more there in the northeast from those storms, more throughout the Rockies and the plains in Canada. Day 4 through Wednesday, more there in the Rockies, in the plains too, in the southwest, and especially in Canada. Let's see some in the east coast, especially there with Debby. Day 5 for next Thursday, there's more in the plains there, more in the Rockies in Colorado, and parts of the plains and the southwest, more in Canada, and Debby. Let's see, day 6 more in the west and the Rockies and the plains. Day 7 more in those areas too. Days 1 through 7 shows a lot in Colorado, New Mexico, Montana, Wyoming, Canada, the northeast, and some other areas there. And I showed only Debby like in the southeast, but when the remnants of Debby pass near the northeast, and plus the accumulation from those storms, there'll be a lot of rain there in the northeast later. So this is days 1 through 7 shows a lot, close to 5-7 inches in parts of the Mid-Atlantic and northeast. So yeah, be careful. Excessive rainfall for today in the other areas shows a marginal parts of the northeast, marginal from Montana to Wisconsin, the southwest. Tomorrow, marginal in the southwest, slight in parts of the Midwest and northern plains, a marginal there, and a marginal in the northeast tomorrow. Day 3, a slight on the northeast, those areas there, New Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, and those areas, and a marginal in the southwest too, and for Debby there. Let's see, day 4 marginal in the southwest and on the east coast because of Debby. Day 5 a slight in Colorado and New Mexico and a marginal, and on the east coast for Debby there. So be careful. Let's see what else here. So still some heat risk in the south. Today more heat risk parts of the plains and some extremes in the southwest. Tomorrow more in the south, in southern Florida, the west. Tuesday more in the mid-south, some heat risk, some odd areas. Wednesday, take a look at Wednesday, show a bunch of extreme heat risk in Louisiana, Mississippi for Wednesday. Be careful, so some majors in other areas, extreme in California and some areas. Thursday shows more extremes in the south, majors, moderates there. Friday shows more extremes and majors in the south and some areas. Next Saturday, still some moderates and majors in the south and slides. So let's see the temperatures. For today, shows 100s in the plains, in the southwest 100s, some 90s there. Let's see. For tomorrow, shows some 100s there, still some 100s in the plains, 90s in other areas, and colder there because of Debby, of course. Let's see, some 90s in the northwest. For day 3, still some 100s on the southwest, some 100s in the plains in some areas. Let's see. Day 4 for Wednesday shows still 100s in the southwest, more 100s in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. So be careful there. In the southwest, a little bit milder in the north, already 90s in southern Florida. Let's see, next Thursday shows more 100s in Texas, Louisiana, some 100s on the southwest, some 90s on the west. For Friday, day 6 shows, let's see, more 100s on the southwest, some 90s, 100s on the south. Let's see, for day 7, next Saturday, shows more 100s on the south, on the southwest 100s, some 90s in other areas. And this is mainly it. And the 24-hour max wind gusts for today, valid until tomorrow, shows gusty winds in parts of the northern Rockies, the plains, southern Arizona, California, and of course with Debby there. So please be careful. Let's see some hazards, but this change all the time, so you can always check here, and we might have more watches there later for the storms associated with Debby and everything. Some coastal flood statements in Hawaii, flood watches and high surf in Alaska. Let's see, some red flag warnings, heat warnings in the west, heat advisories, some air quality advisories, the hurricane warnings, tropical storm warnings, tropical storm watches, the storm surge warnings and everything there, some heat advisories and other stuff. So stay safe there. Now for Canada, let's see the thunderstorm outlook for Canada. So this is for Sunday in the prairies. Shows some moderate thunderstorms possible in Alberta there, and some minor thunderstorms in other areas in the gray. But be aware there in Alberta. Tonight shows a smaller area, but still some moderate storms possible there, and some minor storms. And tomorrow for let's see, for Sunday, wait, day 1, yes, so it's the same thing here. So let's see, for the Northwestern Territories, some minor storms possible today there, and tomorrow risk too low. For British Columbia, for today, shows some minor storms, and even a moderate thunderstorm or two can occur this afternoon in parts of southern British Columbia, so be aware there. Some hail, strong winds, and heavy rain. In Ontario, let's see, is this today? No, day 2. So some minor storms possible there, southern Ontario, and maybe something else, but tomorrow still some minor storms there. Atlantic Canada, this is, let's put today, so some minor storms possible in Labrador, and some more moderate storms possible in parts of New Brunswick there, some minor storms in Nova Scotia, mainly for rainfall. And let's see, Quebec, is this Quebec? Good, so they have some moderate thunderstorm potential in southern Quebec there, some minor thunderstorm potential in other areas. So be aware there in southern Quebec this afternoon. So let's see the current hazards. These also change all the time, so you can always check here. We have already some severe thunderstorm watches in Nova Scotia for some strong thunderstorms this afternoon with some heavy rainfall. So be aware there. Some heat warning still in Nova Scotia for hot and humid conditions. Southern Quebec, some heat warning still. And let's see, more air quality advisories in Saskatchewan, Manitoba. Let's see, some special air quality statements in Saskatchewan, British Columbia there. More heat warnings in British Columbia for high temperatures, moderate risk to public health. So maybe the third is there. Still some fog advisories this morning in the coast, and more heat warnings there. So yeah, be aware there in Canada. Let's see. So here, so for Western Canada, maybe shows a snow or two in the mountains and some storms today, especially this afternoon in parts of British Columbia, maybe, and Alberta, some more showers and storms there. Today, tomorrow, Monday, still show some storms possible tomorrow, parts of Alberta, British Columbia, some showers and storms. Let's see. Region Central Canada shows maybe a storm or two there in southern Manitoba. No, that's Saskatchewan, maybe southern Saskatchewan, in other areas, some showers. Let's see. Later tomorrow, Monday, maybe a storm or two there in northern Saskatchewan, Manitoba. And then later by Tuesday, the 6th, shows some stronger storms through Saskatchewan and Manitoba. And then later it continues through Wednesday, that storm system there. By Thursday, it quiets down a little bit. And let's see for Eastern Canada, shows, let's see, some storms in Labrador and Quebec there today, and the storms through Nova Scotia, especially to Newfoundland, some storms this afternoon. More in Quebec there, shows in southern Quebec, and some showers in other areas. So yeah, this is mainly it. Stay safe. Let's see the maximum temperatures for today. Still in the third is there in British Columbia, high 20s in Alberta, Saskatchewan, in the high 20s there, and high humidity in Eastern Canada. Tomorrow still shows some 30s there, a little bit milder in other areas, especially in, let's see, in Quebec and Ontario, shows warmer in the south, those high 20s, but in the east, but shows a little bit milder for the north. Some 20s temperatures in northwestern territories and Yukon. Yeah, this is mainly it. So thanks for watching, and please stay safe from Debby.